What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things I would change about Cato Neimoidia. Now really quick, before we get into the video, I want to make a point. This is not like 5 things I regret not doing, or 5 things I regret about Cato Neimoidia. Super happy with how it turned out. Very pleased with the finished result. This is one of those things where it's like you finish a product, you finish something, you can step back and with, the gift of hindsight, being able to see the finished product, look and see like, oh, what would have been different if how would this mock have looked different if I had changed this, or if I had added this or taken this out, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. Like, I don't think I've ever built a mock and had not a single thing that would have liked to have changed about it. So this is a series I started with Geonosis, and I'll probably continue it moving forward with my other larger mock projects. I probably won't do it with small mocks, but kind of the bigger stuff, especially because, those take so much time and so much goes into those that there's a lot more that, could change or could be different. I've really been trying to find more content that I can do surrounding large mocks, just because I put so much time and effort into them. And then, the finale comes, the cinematic comes, and I'm done, you know what I mean? So hopefully this 5 things will help give me another video idea and just some more content that I can put out related to my big mocks. If you're excited to see my list, don't forget to execute Order 66 on that like button. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you won't miss out on the next big mock series. It's coming soon. All that being said, that's everything I have to say. Let's get on with the video. First thing I would change is the mountains, or the cliff faces, whatever you want to call them. I would make them taller, maybe like about right here. So I'm pretty happy with how tall they turned out, and I feel like I was able to use what I had and get just enough to make it look good. But looking at it now, I think it would have looked really cool if these mountains were super tall. Just would have helped frame the city better, and just added to the epic scale of this mock overall. And it would be harder to see back in here just because, I think I did a pretty good job of making sure you couldn't see any of this in the finale. But if you get pretty close like that, you can see you're already starting to see the red. So if I had made that taller on this side and kind of the same thing over here, it would have been harder to see back there, which, like I said, it's not a huge deal. You didn't really see it in the finale, just I guess whenever I had people come over or, whenever I was looking at it or taking pictures from a distance. I think taller mountains would have looked really cool. All right, the second one is actually a pretty specific thing that I would have changed, and that would be including Anakin's Jedi Starfighter crashed into one of these sides, probably this side. The reason I do that is I think it's the first time you see Cato Neimoidia in the Clone Wars. Anakin and Ahsoka are there helping with some kind of invasion, and Anakin's ship gets hit with buzz droids and crashes into one of the cliffs, and Ahsoka has to go and rescue him, pull him out, and they don't end up. And as far as I know, they leave the ship there. So I think it would have been cool to then have, like an overgrown ship crashed into the side of the cliff with vines growing over it. Just a little callback to that Clone Wars episode and a fun little Easter egg. I don't remember which ship he was flying when it happened, but it was either one of these two. So I would have had, the ship to do it. But let me know down below in the comments if you guys think that would have been a cool Easter egg or if it would have been kind of weird just to have a ship crashed up here at the top somewhere. Change number 3 is going to be another kind of smaller, more specific one, and that's this gunship. So in the mock, I had the gunship right here, kind of hovering in between this bunker area and this plateau. I had the clone troopers, shooting down here onto this plateau. And I would have liked to have changed that because originally I was planning on having this gunship be all the way up here and kind of hovering behind this bunker area, giving support to these clone troopers as they assaulted this landing pad, but I didn't have enough of these trans-clear pillars left over from the other stuff I was building to get it high enough. And so I could only get it to right here, so I kind of had to have it hovering, almost like it dropped them off and left. I didn't really like that because, there's only 5 clone troopers in Plo Koon and, a whole host of droids, and who knows what's in the bunker. So I would have liked to have had that gunship up here just supplying little extra firepower, presence, and maybe some reinforcements if they needed. These last 2 are going to be in reference to the city, and the first one is actually going to be adding more of a curve to the bottom here. If you remember, Cato Neimoidia, the cities are very crescent-shaped, and this one is pretty flat except for the ends. This one is flat except for the ends that have a little bit of a curve, and I would have liked to have added more. It was really simple. Like, I could have done it pretty easily. What happened was I set this pillar in at the height I wanted, and then just started setting up the minifigures. Didn't really pay attention to how curved it was until I had already had all the minifigures set up, and at that point it was too late, obviously, because if I had if I had tried to make it more curved, I would have had to have taken out this pillar, lowered it, and let me tell you, that is a very tricky process. So I feel like I would have ended up knocking over a lot of these minifigures and undoing a lot of the work I did. So I ultimately just decided to leave it where it was at. But next time, if I were to do it again, I definitely would have liked more of a curve here along the bottom. Change number 5, the final change, would be to add little sky bridges connecting these taller buildings to each other. I feel like this would have just made the Moc look busier. It would have made the city look bigger, more populated, more dense. It it looks all right how it is, but I just think adding that little extra detail here of bridges, with stuff hanging down, maybe flags or pennants, and then clones and droids running across the top, maybe one of them being blown up, pieces and minifigures falling down would have looked really cool and just helped added more, especially into this section right here because it's kind of low because you got this whole low part right here and just these taller buildings here in the middle. I actually was planning on adding a sky bridge between these two apartments, but when I built them, I actually offset them by one stud. So this one is one stud that way, that one's one stud that way, so they don't line up exactly. So it would have made it very hard to put a sky bridge in between those just because the opening is pretty small. And so, the sky bridge would have I would have had to have taken out a section of the wall here to make it fit, or it just probably would have looked kind of weird, so I ultimately decided just to leave it out. So that's 5 things I would change about Cato Neimoidia. Like I said in the beginning, I'm very satisfied and happy with how this Moc turned out. I'm very proud of how it looks and how it came out. This is just, me kind of speculating and just looking for more content, more videos to put out with this Moc, just because I spent so much time on it. And it's always fun to kind of sit back with a finished Moc and be like, all right, what could be different, what could be better, just to help you learn and improve for your future Mocs. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about these 5 things you would change, or if there's anything else you would have added to that list or taken out, and I will catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.